It is late in the Second Era, a time of war, as the empire of Tiber Septim sweeps through the kingdoms of Tamriel in a glorious bid for conquest. Septim is opposed on all sides, but never more fiercely than by Hammerfell, the ancestral home of the Red Gods. The High King of Hammerfell, Thasard II, resists the imperial invasions even as he sees other kingdoms crumble. Until at last, without warning and surprisingly devoid of court treachery, death takes its full measure. With its High King dead, Hammerfell is crippled, plunging into a bloody civil war between the crowns, fighting for their homeland's continued sovereignty, and the forebears, who have finally accepted the Emperor's rule. The crowns, led by the heir to Thasard, Prince Ator, are continually victorious, spilling the blood of the forebears across Hammerfell's sands. From his seat of power in the port city of Strois Мкай, Prince Ator slowly reunites his father's unraveled kingdom. Feeling their impending defeat, the forebears sign a pact with the Emperor, allowing him to bring his armies in, crush the crowns, and rule Hammerfell as his own. Tiber Septim's armies prove too much for the proud Red God crowns. Tiber Septim sends his best commander, Lord Richten, to Strois Мкай to close the grip on Prince Ator and the crowns. The prince rallies his forces for one last stand. Knowing that Hammerfell's sovereignty is at stake, the crown forces match the might of the empire, meeting them in the harbor of Strois Мкai for the final battle. The fighting is fierce. Lord Richten, having seen the prince's victories at sea before, decides to bring his last resource to the fore. The dragon, Nathalilagus, proud jewel of the imperial crown. Ator commands his archers to ready their weapons, but is struck down himself by Richten's assassin, felled by an arrow whose poison spreads too fast. Ator's wizard attempts to save the prince, but the dragon ends his magic and the crown's hope for victory in a single fiery breath. Having conquered the crowns, the Emperor's forces claim rule over all of Hammerfell. Imperial garrisons are stationed at every city, and Richten himself is named provisional governor of Strois Мкai. Months pass. The Red Guards of Hammerfell, both crown and forebear, learn to live under the new imperial rule, and Tiber Septim extends his reach into the rest of Tamriel. It is only through fate that any of this will come to concern our hero, Cyrus, a Red Guard who long ago left Hammerfell to wander the borderlands of the Empire.
Krimje, Cyrus, eto verwakecher okodor.
Let's make this short, Sarathra. I've got work to do.
Balizihataratami. Sicho.
I leave with Duardin's men in an hour.
Renrigi intnor. Hoko o imperial ja. Iko pofam rotot velk.
You should know. You got me the job.
Tragir. Sratra kolkotero to Hammerfell. Boshe in rot.
The seal is broken.
Sratra warriga.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Nuko Duardin. Sratra X Kyle.
Izara.
Rolita dek kaudor.
I need a ship.
To board the koi Sratra Nakovik Warabarashi.
Money, too.
3, 2, 1, ja, epakoja, srik, pur srafra kadoaliter beko,
We haven't spoken in 10 years. There was trouble.
kakadar.
I killed her husband.
Hammerfell's prodigal son, Cyrus, returns to the province of his birth. He buys passage to the island of Strois Мкай in the hopes of rescuing his sister, Izara.
Get below is what the pilot said to the wet-eared knaves before him.
The restless league is claiming this cargo.
Said the other with cruel clarity.
Probably wouldn't make a difference if I told you I had no time for this.
This is about Redgarda armor, boy. Stand aside.
Yes, a doubtful notion it is. Piracy and politics. But there you have it.
Never been much for politics. In my day, piracy was honest work.
Don't be a hero, boy.
Where's the money in that?
And yea, verily, by his bravery they were impressed for a scant few seconds. He thinks to himself, I'm overmatched here, obviously. No! 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 You really should have... No! We could use a sword. You really should have... We could...
Small cut. Oh! How about you? How about you?
Cyrus!
Captain, good to see you back in command.
Please call me Brennan. You disposed of those ruffians so quickly, I had no time to retrieve my sword from my cabin.
That's so,
Look, over there! Let us move on before more show up.
I hope this letter finds your hands, friend. My latest travels have brought me to Strois Мкай, and no one here has seen your sister for 3 months. I fear the worst. I feel obligated to stay for a few weeks. I'll be at the Dragon Tail Inn should you return. Tobias.
Cyrus. And how do you do?
Brennan, can I have a minute?
Anything for your like, Cyrus.
I am looking for my sister Izara. Perhaps you have heard of her.
I'm afraid not. Before the Empire cleaned things up, Strois Мкай was a pirate haven, avoided by honest merchants like myself.
The pirates who attacked us spoke of a restless league. Have you heard of them?
Other captains tell me the remaining banditti have organized themselves against the Empire's crackdown on smuggling and piracy.
How has Stross Мкай fared under its new imperial masters?
The locals are still chafing at the bit, but in time they will come to appreciate the benefits of membership in the Empire.
That's so, The Empire has done well in its conquest of Hammerfell, you think?
Absolutely. No offense, but Hammerfell is in need of some law and order.
I am meeting a friend at the Dragon Tail. Can you direct me?
I can't recommend it, but it's the only drink hole in this godforsaken town. Up the bridge, you see to the right, through the gate to the town square, you will see the sign.
It seems the Empire has not eliminated all the pirates from Stross Мкай.
Apparently so. They've become bold, attacking a ship so far into Hunding Bay. But give it time. The Empire has only been here a few months.
Thanks. We'll talk later.
Ahoy there, sailor. Can I have a word with you? Greetings, stranger.
What can I do for you, friend?
The question is, what can I do for you? The young stranger in town, fearless, footloose, and fancy-free, a little light of purse, perhaps? I have a proposition that may appeal, but first allow me to introduce myself. Kataro, contractor of Stross Мкай, at your service.
Saris. Charmed. I wonder if you know my sister, Izara. I've come to Stross Мкai to find out what's happened to her.
I'm afraid I don't know her. I'm just a simple working man. You might try Dreekius up at the Dragon Tail. Pretty much everyone in Stross Мкai passes through his door eventually.
What do you know about a group of ruffians calling themselves the Restless League?
Damn them and their bloody-minded ways. They've done more to ruin Stross Мкai than the Four Bears and Empire combined. If it weren't for them, this city would have been at peace months ago.
I haven't been in Hammerfell since before the war. How do you like being a citizen of the Empire?
Sure beats war, my young friend. I won't lie to you, though. Hard to find honest labor these days. Four Bears would rather smirk than lift, and the Crowns don't have the back for it anymore.
Sounds like the Crowns are taking their defeat pretty hard.
Yeah, I've always stayed out of politics. Bad for business. Crown, Four Bear, I don't care. As long as their coin is true. My philosophy is, what's done is done. Live and let live. The grass is always greener, you know.
I guess the Four Bears are still savoring victory in the Civil War, eh?
Yeah, you could say that, although you might not want to say it in their faces. They're a touchy lot these days.
I've been up north for years, but I was pretty sure the Four Bears won the war.
Of course they did. And the Four Bears like to bust up the Dragon Tail just in case anyone doubts it. Some ungenerous Crowns like to point out the Imperial flags flying all over the palace and the Imperial soldiers patrolling the streets. None of my concern, though. Haha, you know what I mean?
I'm supposed to meet a friend at the Dragon Tail. Can you direct me?
It's the only watering hole in town. Follow the ramps uphill to the town square. Bit of friendly advice? Watch your step. The Four Bears are a touchy lot these days.
You call yourself a contractor. What does that mean?
Over here we have someone who needs something done. Over there we have someone who's looking for work. How do they find each other? That's where I come in.
Tell me about this job you have for me.
A simple task. Pick up an amulet from Nagasta and deliver it to the governor's palace. Now, to be honest, I've been having trouble finding someone to take the job. But I'm sure a robust lad such as yourself pays no attention to silly local superstitions. Are you interested?
Sure. I'll take the job.
Splendid. Here's your 100 gold. I'll have the rest for you after you deliver the amulet to the governor. Well, I'm sure you won't have any trouble, but, you probably want to do this during the daylight.
Refresh my memory about this job you hired me for.
A simple task. Pick up an amulet from Nagasta and deliver it to the governor's palace.
Nagasta?
A harmless old hermit. The more superstitious of my fellow citizens repeat silly rumors about him, but I put no stock in their tales. He lives in the old wizard's tower. Just follow the shoals on the northwest side of the island.
Any idea what's so important about this amulet?
That's between Nagasta and the governor. I just get paid to find a delivery man.
How much are you offering for this job?
Like I said, I've been having trouble hiring for this job, so I'm upping the rate a bit. 100 up front and 200 more after completion.
That's pretty high for a simple delivery. What's the catch?
The pay's proportional to the danger. Nagasta's tower isn't exactly on the main road, you know? So you may have a little trouble getting there. Nothing that you can't handle, I'm sure.
Where can I find the governor's palace?
Straight at the top of the hill. You can't miss it. The grandest structure in Stross Мкай, maybe in all of Hammerfell. Quite the tourist attraction before the late unpleasantness.
What superstitions do the locals harbor about this Nagasta?
Oh, you know, they call him a necromancer, prattle about him stealing people's souls, armies of undead, you know, that sort of thing. Nothing a well-armed fellow like yourself would worry about.
How is the Restless League responsible for ruining Stross Мкай?
Burning or plundering half the cargoes headed for this port, stirring up the Imperials to ever more ruthless repression. The League doesn't seem to realize that the war is over, and they lost.
You're saying the League was allied with the Crowns?
That depends on who you ask. I don't know. I'm not one of your political gentlemen, always in someone else's business. I'm just a poor working stiff. A bird in the hand is better, you know what they say.
Dreekias?
A friendly local lizard. Not that I have anything against him, or her, or whatever. Can't ever tell with those Argonians. Runs the Dragon Tail, the tavern on the town square.
We'll talk later.
Hey, sailor.
May I trouble you for a moment, my lady?
Lady, you say? You must be new in town. Besides, the owner would have remembered you.
Cyrus, at your service. Do you know a young lady named Izara? My sister, last seen over 3 months ago.
Zara, yes. I see the family resemblance. Can't say I know her, though. She was all caught up in them troubles we had when the young prince was here.
What is news around Stross Мкай these days?
That it's best to keep your mouth shut or end up in the catacombs. Or worse.
Have you heard anything about a group called the Restless League?
They claim to fight the Empire, but they seem more interested in plunder from what I can tell. They make a point to target forebears, though. I guess they aren't all bad.
A friend is meeting me at the Dragon Tail. Do you know it?
Sure, Sienna knows it all right. Used to be a favorite of mine till that damn lizard Barkeep got all high and mighty on me. Does this friend have a name?
Tobias. Do you know him?
Did Hunding hate goblins? Of course I know him. One of my best customers, and I'm no lie. Any friend of Tobias is a friend of the owner. I'll be happy to help you out any way I can.
Maybe you can help me. Tell me more about the recent troubles in Strois Мкай.
You know, the civil war between the crowns and their forebears. You really aren't from around here, are you?
Tell me more about the crowns.
They supported Prince Ator after his father died. True Redguard patriots. More's the pity.
What of these forebears? Who are they?
Forebears? Pah! And they call me a whore. Sold out the prince and left us with the streets full of fine soldiers and not an honest ring to any heel.
Was my sister involved in the Civil War in some way?
Well, I don't want to spread gossip, especially not to her brother. But they say she was friends with the prince. Good friends, you know. So it's no wonder she disappeared when Fat Boy came to town.
Fat Boy?
Oh, sorry. I mean His Imperial Highness Provisional Governor Lord Rickton.
This lizard Barkeep. An Argonian?
Don't know his politics, but that Dreekius is a damn nuisance to us working girls. Pretentious of grandeur he has. Nobody before bears in there now anyway, and I wouldn't catch that gut for any pot of corn.
You don't care for Dreekius, then?
Well, he's not a bad sort for a lizard. Him and me just don't see eye to eye on the friendship of the thighs, so to speak. But he knows anyone who's anyone on this island. No mistake.
Tell me about this Rickton.
He's a bad one, he is. The owner can tell. Invited me up to the palace once, but I won't be back. Maybe Siona's not a fine lady, but she's an honest working girl and doesn't like being treated like dirt. And she definitely doesn't like being watched by that sneaking, pricky-eared shadow.
These catacombs, some kind of a dungeon?
That's where Fat Boy tosses any crowns he can catch, under the palace, where the dragons live.
Where is the governor's palace?
The poor dead prince's palace, you mean. Just keep climbing up the hill, you can't miss it. But don't expect to sneak your way in.
Who is this shadow you speak of?
Fat Boy's pet assassin, Ram. A ghoul from furthest Morrowind, they say. Those red eyes of his are watching me. No, Sienna won't be back to the palace. Not for all the coin in Hammerfell.
A dragon lives in these catacombs?
That's how Fat Boy beat the crowns. The Imperials, at least, think the dragon's still down there, laying about on the royal sea of coin.
We'll talk later. Be careful.
Sorry, sweetheart. Sorry, sweetheart.
Well?
Hello, my name is Cyrus.
And mine is Trithic, lad.
I'm looking for my sister Izara. Perhaps you've seen her?
I do not know the name, but so many have been lost since the dragon arrived.
She went missing about 3 months ago.
If she was with the crowns, I would count her among the casualties. Richton's slaughter was elegant only in its thoroughness.
The ship that brought me here was beset upon by some rascals called the Restless League. What do you know about them?
They were the necessary cancer of a nation divided and at war, grown at the borders where the kingdom's skin is most contested by the foreign sword. Fearless men, whose names are all too often breathed in hate. Don't believe them too wrong, for even the prince had their ear.
It seems quiet here, especially for a port city. How fares Stross Мкай under imperial rule?
Defeat is read in every native face, my boy. The war cost the city much, including its voice. The crowns are no more, as kingless as Yokuda, lost now to song which no one will sing, lest Richton hear. Overmuch, the governor is the reason Stross Мкай is so quiet.
I have not heard mention of Yokuda since my childhood.
The first land where the Red Guards came from in blessed Hunding's day.
I saw the statue of Hunding on my way into port. I'm surprised Richton hasn't leveled it yet.
He cannot or will not, for it keeps the goblins out of Stross Мкai, out and under it. Such is Frandar Hunding's grace that he blinds them still.
There are goblins under Stross Мкai?
And worse, but you needn't worry about them. They are doomed to the dirt and bother the Red Guard no more.
What did the Imperials do to the prince?
Ator was slain at sea, and there his body was lost, thankfully. Already the obligatory prophecy of his return has begun, spoken in hush, an ill surrogate for true hope this season. The Red Guard should know better, be blind to desperate omen. Fasad's son has left us, winged swift and sadly, never to return.
So Ator had dealings with the Restless League then?
Never openly, for then even the crowns thought the League untrustworthy. Now they are Hammerfell's last hope. Ator's death sent them into hiding, and Dragonfire keeps them there.
How can you be thankful that Prince Ador's body was lost at sea?
Insofar that the seabed may claim him before the necromancer does, that is all. That his soul may rest easy from the snare surround.
Tell me about the necromancer.
A westward evil, a seat in the ash-gray shoals, on parade now that the Empire's here, lad. So don't die.
What is the snare surround?
The necromancer's curse, writhing in the near here, only a death away. Its magic snatches at your soul, should you perish, to fuel some darker deed still.
How far west are the shoals?
Not a day's journey. Just follow the path over the, bridge.
Should I fear death more than normal then?
The snare waits for those who don't.
This dragon, an imperial metaphor perhaps?
Banner and bone, young Redguard. Seek the old quarter if you want to see the handiwork of both.
I fear that my sister's disappearance had something to do with the Civil War.
I read more than fear in your face, Redguard. Either retribution or redemption. Alas, sometimes they are the same. Neither can come without wounds.
I said nothing about redemption or...
Why else would you be here in this narrative? In you,
How can the two be the same?
in their concern for blood, in blood as closure. I assure you, it will be spilt before you find your sister. A prayer may do you well.
Where should I pray?
At the Temple of Blessed Arche, Brother Niddle presides there, and he knew most of the people in town. He may know something about your sister.
Where is the temple?
In the town square, shoreside from the pool.
Perhaps I should speak to this Richten then.
Spoken true, my boy. But I'd advise against it. The Imperials suffer no Redguards in the palace, unless you're forebear, and you walk on too few legs to be that.
What do the Imperials plan to do here?
Confusion often follows conquering. But if Septim does have a plan for Hammerfell, it hasn't been made clear. I suspect a greater plan than constant terror, for Richten has men all about the island, not just here in Stross Мкай.
So I can't get into the palace then?
Not unless you can produce something that Richten will desire.
So I can't get into the palace then?
Not unless...
Has Tiber Septim made the crown suffer much for their resistance?
Through his agents, yes. But I fear that the provisional governor is an especially wicked feast to swallow. The blood has slowed to a trickle, if only for lack of targets, and the crowns who survive still remain silent.
Can a Red Guard not even admit his allegiance to the crowns openly?
I can't speak for the rest of Hammerfell, but such an admission here is martyrdom at best. A persecution of silence reigns in Stross Мкай.
Tell me of the forebears.
Throne defilers all, hosts to the invader, and Hunding's shame.
What happened to the old quarter?
It was the last stand of the Loyalist crowns, and Governor Richten had it destroyed. It smolders still, all ash and dragonfire. Few escaped the incident.
Thanks, Trivett. I've got to go. He looks a little preoccupied.
Thank you, my boy. My name is Avik. How can I help you?
I'm looking for my sister Izara. Do you know her?
The name sounds familiar, son, but I'm afraid I can't help you. Not many young people have an ear for the snake songs anymore.
Are you familiar with a group called the Restless League?
Can't say that I am, but I mostly keep to myself. With the Yokudun's band from Stross Мкай, I don't have many friends here in town. Probably have to pack up and leave myself soon.
How has Stross Мкай fared under Imperial rule?
Things have gone to pot, and I don't care who knows it. Murder in the streets? Where will it end? Tell me that. Where will it end?
You play very well.
Thank you, my son. No one visits me since those Imperial devils murdered that Yokuden lad. That's right, Imperial devils, and I don't care who knows it.
Imperial troops have murdered people in Stross Мкai?
Ah, When they came ashore, it was fire and sword in the old quarter. At least, then they could pretend they were fighting the crown diehards. But killing that innocent Yokudan boy, if I was 20 years younger, I'd make someone pay.
Is the old quarter completely destroyed?
Might as well be. It was sealed off while the Imperials searched every house for Crown loyalists. Nothing but a ghost town now.
Tell me about this murdered boy.
His name was Hale, poor lad. His family still camped outside the city, waiting to finish his burial ritual. Yokudans were never well liked around here, but Governor Rigton went too far.
You miss Hale, don't you?
Used to love to listen to me play. One of the few people around here who did. Appropriate, I suppose, for one born under the sign of the serpent.
Where is the Yokudan camp?
I'm not sure. Outside of the city somewhere, watching over Hale's grave. His poor mother is beside herself with grief.
The sign of the serpent. Part of Yokudan religion?
The star sign of his birth. Yokudans believe the stars guide your destiny from birth to death and beyond.
You miss Hale, don't you?
Used to love to listen to me play. One of the few people around here who did. Appropriate, I suppose, for one born under the sign of the serpent.
I'm not familiar with Yokudan religion. Do they have lengthy burial rituals?
It's more serious than that, I'm afraid. His mother, Saban, needs to counteract the soul snare that Nagasta has laid over the island.
Yes, unfortunately, the Yokudans have always been treated as outsiders, all over Hammerfell.
A senseless prejudice, since their religion harks back to the earliest Redguard traditions. But our new governor has done much worse than simply overcharge them for flour.
What did the governor do to the Yokudans?
Murdered young Hale, then branded the rest of them traitors and ordered them to leave Stross Мкай. Yokudans mixed up with Redguard politics, a preposterous notion.
Why do you say that?
You haven't spent much time in Hammerfell, have you, son?
No, I was born in Sentinel, but left Hammerfell when I was very young. I haven't been back in years.
I thought so. You've picked up a bit of an accent. West High Rock, am I right? Well, as I was saying, the feeling against the Yokudans runs deeper than politics, even in a civil war. Neither side ever stooped to allow Yokudans to join their ranks. Even the Restless League was too good for them. But all that's over now. Redguard pride has made us all slaves of the Emperor.
I thought you'd never heard of the Restless League.
No one pays any attention to an old snake charmer ranting against the Empire. But the League, now there is a dangerous subject of conversation for anyone, including young Redguard swordsmen with a mercenary air.
Tell me what you know of this Restless League.
If I were as wise as my ears, I would hold my tongue and bid you good day. But you're no Imperial spy, and nothing like the League bully boys that came around after Hale's murder.
I ran into a couple of them myself on my way into town. Pleasant enough fellows, although they talk too much. What did they want with you?
They were asking questions about some woman. It was none of my concern, and I didn't want to give his poor mother any more trouble, so I told them nothing. Hey, now I remember why your sister's name sounded so familiar. She was the one they were looking for.
You imply there was something you could have told these leaguesmen. Mind telling me?
Well, Izara met Hale here, and they left together the day he died. At the time, I thought it was just a romantic rendezvous, nothing to do with his murder. But then the League came sniffing around. I can't imagine what it's all about, but I saw no use in adding the League to the Yokudan's troubles.
His mother is understandably upset at her son's death.
Yes, but it's not just that. Saban has not yet completed the burial ritual, although the lad has been in the ground for weeks.
Soul snare. What do you mean?
Now that the prince is dead, that foul worm has woven a magical snare across Stross Мкай to feed his hunger for souls. Unless you are buried in consecrated ground, your soul will go straight to Nagasta if you die. This is why Saban still fears for her murdered son.
Tell me more of Nagasta.
While Prince Ator was alive, a name to frighten children. Little more. But our new Imperial Master has allowed the Necromancer's dread power to spread unchecked until his soul snare threatens us all.
Why did Prince Ator allow Nagasta to stay in Stross Мкай?
I don't know. Ator's father, Fasad, first allowed Nagasta to occupy the old wizard's tower, but back then he seemed harmless enough. The Mages Guild complained of unsanctioned research, but they had little influence with old Fasad. The Civil War kept Ator occupied until his untimely death.
You seem to know a lot about the Mages Guild.
Yes. In fact, I am a member, although you wouldn't think it to look at me, would you? I'm retired now, but my friend Johto kept me up to date on guild politics. Until he was arrested by those Imperial devils, that is.
Why was your friend Johto arrested?
Do they need a reason? One day soldiers came for him, and he's been rotting in jail ever since.
Does the Mages Guild have much influence in Stross Мкай?
No more. Archmage Voa was a crown, Ator's right hand, but both perished in the Battle of Stross Мкai. Jaganvir is an unworthy successor to the Archmage's chair, if you ask me.
Archmage Voa was loyal to the prince then.
The prince's chief advisor. But his replacement, Jaganvir, is a disgrace to Ator's memory.
Jaganvir is the new Archmage?
Yes, a spineless toad of a man, a perfect lackey to the governor's every whim. Still, a mage of formidable power, whatever his personal failings.
The jail, where's that?
Up near the palace. They won't let anyone in to see the prisoners. I've already tried. I guess I should be grateful they didn't just kill him, eh? Murdering devils.
Thanks, Avik. Greetings, my lady. I am Cyrus.
A sentinel accent, isn't it? I am Cassandra, silversmith of Strois Мкай. Pleased to meet you.
Are you from Sentinel originally?
Yes, I owned a shop there for 6 years, on Market Street. Perhaps you know it? Sentinel is overcrowded these days, and when I heard of a business for sale here, I decided to take the chance. So far, I haven't had too much trouble from the locals.
Why would the local people give you trouble?
Forebears aren't exactly popular around here, you know. I've never been much involved in politics, but I always supported the forebear cause. Before the war, all that didn't matter. I had many friends who were crowns, but things are different now.
You're new here, then?
Arrived only 2 months ago. I'm still trying to get things sorted out. The former owner must not have cleaned this place for 20 years. There was so much junk piled up. I tossed most of it in my warehouse next door just to get it out of the way.
The old silversmith. He left because of the war?
He died, actually. I bought the shop from his estate. I guess there was some kind of incident in the old quarter where the most fanatical crowns lived.
I'm looking for my sister, Izara. Do you know her?
I'm afraid not. I have few friends here as yet. I'm hoping that as time passes, things will get back to normal, but the war is still too fresh for people here to forget that I'm a forebear.
How has Strois Мкай fared under imperial occupation?
It's suffered greatly. The incident in the old quarter seems to have left the city in shock. The crowns lost the war, after all. You can't expect them to get over that in a few months.
What can you tell me about the Restless League?
I know I sound just like every other forebear, but they were nothing more than pirates, using the Civil War as cover for their crimes. They were a black mark on the Crown's cause from the beginning. The destruction of the League is one of the few good things to come from the Empire's victory.
You call it the Empire's victory. What of the forebears?
Please, I'm not one of the forebear fanatics. Anyone can see that Baron Volog was used, then cast aside by the Empire. He hoped to be king of Hammerfell, but who has seen him since his supposed victory?
So the League has been wiped out?
As far as I can tell, they haven't been seen in Strois Мкай in weeks. Their last hurrah was blowing up the governor's flagship, a pointless gesture which only spurred Reichten to finish cleaning out their organization from the city.
What do you know of the new provisional governor Reichten?
Ruthless to a fault. Served him well during the war, but not a trait guaranteed to win loyalty in a new province. I wonder how much Tiber Septim knows of what Reichten is up to here in Hammerfell.
Tiber Septim, the colossus of our generation, Tamriel's new self-proclaimed emperor. What's your take?
The Empire's expansion has proceeded according to the merits of the Emperor's servants. By all accounts, Septim's governor in High Rock has ended the feuding of the Witch Kings there with tact and skill. The Emperor's representative here in Strois Мкай is not of the same caliber, and the Emperor is viewed dimly as a result.
You disagree with Baron Volag's decision to ally the forebears with the Empire?
A gamble that he lost. As a forebear, I supported Volag's claim to the throne of Hammerfell. I never supposed he was infallible. But the war's over now, and the only thing to do is make the best of the new situation. A philosophy more crowns should embrace, if you ask me.
I admire your courage. A forebear in the crown capital.
When I first arrived, the Restless League made a few threats, but the Empire seems to have them under control now. Forebear and crown, that's all in the past anyway. Hammerfell is part of the Empire now. At least we finally can stop killing each other.
I haven't been back to Sentinel since before the war. How did it fare?
Better than Strois Мкай. Before I came here, I thought the stories I'd heard were just crown propaganda. The crowns recaptured Sentinel just before the Empire intervened, but it was nothing like this. Strois Мкай was the center of crown resistance, and I suppose the Empire is making an example of the city.
Do you know what happened?
It was before I arrived. The people here tell some pretty fantastic stories. As near as I can figure, the Crowns burned their houses down around their heads rather than surrender after the Imperials took the city. Some would call that admirable, but I think the Red Guards put too much stock in zealotry.
Excuse me. Perhaps we can speak later. Greetings, old man. I am Cyrus.
Cyrus, eh? Never heard of you. Must be new around here. My name's Favis. Everybody just calls me Favis, though.
My sister Izara is missing. Do you know her?
Sure, nice young lady, too. Sister, you say? I haven't seen her around in a while, though. Wonder if she might be missing.
Apparently, no one has seen her for months. Do you have any idea what might have happened?
Might have something to do with the Restless League. Some of them fellows came around looking for her a while back.
Izara was in trouble with the Restless League?
I didn't say that, although come to think of it, they didn't look too friendly. No one you'd want to cross, that's for sure. Their enemies have a way of turning up dead.
My ship was attacked by 2 members of the Restless League just off Stross Мкай. What can you tell me about them?
Not much. Fire-eating Red Guard nationalists. More even than most Crowns could stomach. But they've kept quiet since the old quarter was burned. I wonder why they decided to attack your ship.
Stross Мкай was a Crown stronghold, wasn't it?
It was the seat of power for the Crowns. Ator led the Crowns from here after Thasad's death. We've suffered greatly for it since young Prince Ator died. Took all hope out of the Crowns, but not all the fight.
Not all?
No, the battle in the old quarter did that.
What happened to Prince Ator?
Died in battle, like a Red Guard hero of old. I've heard tales that he ain't dead, but that's all rubbish.
Really?
I spoke with sailors from the Garamar, second in line of battle behind Ator's flagship. They saw him on deck just as the dragon lit up his ship like a festival bonfire. Weren't any survivors from the flagship, not a one.
King Thasad's death was inconvenient for many, but I've never heard tell of foul play.
Nor I. The forebears preferred Thasad to his son Ator, a known League sympathizer. Thasad had no patience for the League himself. Called them terrorists. Maybe true, but they've shown more sense than the Crowns through this whole bloody mess.
I expected to see Stross Мкай full of forebears after their victory.
Hardly a forebear victory. It was Imperial might that defeated the Crowns, laddie. Make no mistake about that. The 4 show few that Rickton brought with him mostly stay up in the palace or drink themselves to stupor. You might run into them at the Dragon Tail, looking for trouble, so you'll want to be careful.
Tell me what happened in the old quarter.
The Crowns made their last stand there after the Dragon destroyed Ator's fleet. Senseless bravado. Should have done what the League did, and laid low until the Imperials were off guard. Instead, they went down fighting. Red Guard heroes, but dead all the same.
I don't know. How long has it been since their last attack?
Must have been a month or 2 at least. Their last big success was blowing up Rickman's flagship right here in the harbor. A pity in a way. Whatever else you say about the Imperials, they make beautiful ships with that little Cape Acosta League plenty. Afterwards, Rickton rounded up anyone who'd ever spoken to a leaguesman. I was starting to think he had crushed them completely.
You're not in the Restless League?
Me? Ha! If I was, do you think I'd still be here with precious Governor Rickton throwing every known leaguesman in the catacombs? In my day, things were simple. A Red Guard was loyal to the king, and that was that. All this newfangled politics, crowns and forebears, Restless League, not for me.
You're in charge of this bell tower?
Don't wanna be, but I'm stuck with it. Dan Purnell's fault leaves me stuck here while he sits up in the cool breeze and watches Hunden Bay roll by. Doesn't he think I'd like to wave the flag once in a while? Stubborn as a mule he is, and ungrateful to boot.
Purnell, a friend of yours?
Friend? Ha! Blind as a bat he is, but will he ever let me wave the flag? No! Too stuffy down there, he says. You fall off the chair, he says. Always some excuse. Now he's gone and broken the bell. Don't know why I put up with him.
I'm not sure I follow you. What flag do you mean?
We're supposed to trade off. One of us watches for ships, waves the flag when he sees one, then the other rings the bell to let people know. But he never lets me take my turn in the watchtower. Doesn't care about my feelings, not at all. Always about what Purnell wants. Huh.
The bell doesn't look broken.
Well, not broken exactly, but I'm sure it doesn't ring as loud as it used to. But Purnell wouldn't let me have Laquin look at it, would he? Insisted on doing it himself. Typical. Took him half the day, then had the nerve to tell me there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm not sure if I've met Laquin.
Me neither. Now that Laquin, on the other hand, handiest young fellow I ever met, can fix anything. Hey, you look like a handy sort yourself. Maybe you could take a look at it for me.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Good lad.
What's this? What's this? Nothing wrong with this bell. Just the old man's ears that need fixing. What's this?
Stay there, young fella!
What's this? What's this? A glass monocle I found at the bell tower.
Hey, don't. Don't touch that bell rope, unless you want to be remembered as the cowardly villain who murdered a kind and dutiful old man just so he could play the fool with that good man's bell.
Hello, Favas.
You look familiar.
How do things stand in Stross Мкай under Imperial occupation?
As bad as they can be. Looks peaceful now, doesn't it? The peace of the grave, it is. Most of the younger folk dead or run off. In the old days, this was the bustling south heart of Hammerfell. Harbor Jan was shipping, sailors from all over walking the street. What you see now is the ghost of the old Stross Мкай. Dead, but it just don't know it yet.
What of these catacombs?
You're a nosy young fella, aren't you? The less you know about them, the better. If Richter doesn't like you, he throws you in jail. If he really doesn't like you, he throws you in the catacombs. No one comes out of there alive.
This dragon, have you seen it?
Not with my own eyes, but I heard tell of it from the survivors. They say Richter keeps it in the catacombs, feeding it on captured leaguesmen.
What can you tell me about Governor Richter?
You don't look like one of his spies.
Rest assured.
I'm too old to worry about such things anyway. Huh. Why was I worrying?
Richter.
Oh yeah, good soldier maybe, but a bloodthirsty beast of a ruler. Enjoys having Stross Мкай under his thumb, he does. Won't be much of it left when he's through.
I checked, and there's nothing wrong with the bell.
Good lad, I was right. That fool Purnell said it didn't need fixing, but I knew it needed fixing, so you fixed it, eh? Well, I'm much obliged.
That's all for now, Fathers. Cassandra, hello.
Cyrus, what do you need?
Excuse me. Perhaps we can speak later.
Good day.
Hello, shopkeeper. My name is Cyrus.
Pleased to meet you, my good fellow. Garak, your humble servant.
I'd like to make a purchase.
Splendid. What do you need?
The shovel over there, how much?
A sturdy shovel. Just the thing for the intrepid treasure hunter. Guaranteed not to break, scratch, or dent. A bargain at only 30 gold.
I'll take it.
A pleasure doing business with you, Cyrus.
That looks like a decent compass.
The one item no one should be without. Never lose your way again. For the small investment of 50 gold, peace of mind for a lifetime.
I'll take it.
You won't regret it.
I wonder if you know my sister Izara.
Izara? Zara. A lovely name, by the way. I believe she may have been mixed up with those League pirates. Am I right?
What do you know about the Restless League?
A collection of the worst scum from the sewers of Stross Мкай. Pirates who'd cut your throat as soon as look at you.
I know your sister's name.
What did he say?
Ignore Orsine. Good Cyrus, he's a half-wit. What were we talking about?
The League. How's business these days?
If it's not pirates stealing your cargo, it's imperial taxes. I get by, though. All the ships heading for the Iliac Bay pass through here, so I get first crack at all their wares, as long as I can get that lazy Rollo to bring it up from the harbor.
Ah! Lazy Rollo, fat
Orsine!
That's what I'm trying to find out. She's been missing for 3 months. What do you know about them?
That bloodthirsty gang of villains. If your poor sister was connected with them, I'm afraid to speculate on what might have happened.
Poor pretty.
They've been a plague on Stross Мкай for years, although the cowards haven't dared show their faces since the Imperials arrived.
Plate Pete Garrick knows more. Knows more.
The Empire crushed the Restless League?
I assume so. They haven't been seen around Stross Мкай for months. The League pretended to be patriotic rebels after the Crown's defeat, but a few encounters with Imperial warships quieted them down right quick.
Please, if you know anything more about Azara.
Well, she came into my shop some time ago, looking for malachite. Don't stock it, of course, unusual request, but she was very insistent.
Squawk! Sister plenty money, bright face.
Azara offered me a tidy sum for the malachite, much more than it was worth. I said I could have some for her in 3 weeks, but she needed it right away. I'm afraid she may have tried the smuggler's den, dear me. Not a place to walk into with a purse full of gold.
Did Azara say why she needed malachite?
I'm sorry, no. Not much call for it anymore, now that the alchemist shop is closed.
Bah! Old Brownish Crustfinger! Bah!
Smuggler's den?
Yes, under the cartographer's shop. An open secret around town. I'm sure those smugglers are connected with the Restless League, selling Valenwood wine stolen from my own ships at double the price since they have no competition. I can't prove any of it, of course.
I'm a pretty bird.
Malachite is used in alchemy.
I believe so. Old Vromish, the alchemist, used to order a pound or two from time to time. But he's been dead now these 7 years, and the Mages Guild gets their potions wholesale, so I haven't carried malachite since.
The Mages Guild sells potions?
Yes, they now have an official monopoly on magic of any kind. Archmage Voa's doing took advantage of his access to the prince at the expense of us small businessmen. Remains to be seen what the new imperial policy will be. Governor Richton's too busy with his archaeological hobby to bother with a small matter like economic policy.
The governor is an archaeology buff?
He's crazy over anything Dwarven. The Dwarven ruins are full of soldiers looking for who knows what. Richton better hope the Emperor never finds out how he's wasting his valuable troops.
Where are these Dwarven ruins?
Down on the south end of the island. You won't get in, though. Richton's men have sealed the gates.
Thanks for the time, Garrick. And what's your name? I'm searching for a young lady.
I know your sister's name.
Tell me what you know. I'm searching for a young lady.
I know your sister's name.
You know about Azara, pretty bird? I fought some worthless thugs not long ago.
I know your sister's name.
Pretty bird, what have you heard? How long have you lived on the isle?
I know your sister's name.
So you know she lives here then? Bye-bye then.
Bye-bye then.
Yes?
Cassandra, hello.
Cyrus, what do you need?
I've been told of a smuggler's den under the cartographer's shop. Have you heard of it?
Sure I have. Smuggler's Den. Ha! A pretty grandiose name for a place where the local boys go to get away from their wives and play cards.
So do you think it's nothing more sinister than that?
Well, I've heard rumors it was connected with the Restless League, but they're hard to take seriously if a joker like Lakeen could get in.
Lakeen? Who's he?
The local handyman. Not a bad sort, don't get me wrong, but a bit lunatic fringe. Hardly what I'd call the foundation of a revolution.
What does Lakeen have to do with the smuggler's den?
Oh, I really shouldn't gossip, but I'm sure you won't tell anyone, will you, Cyrus? Seems he was gambling at the smuggler's den and lost his wife's antique silver locket. He came to me, desperate to have it replaced, so she wouldn't find out. I'd have been glad to help, but I couldn't reproduce it simply from his description. Poor fellow, he went away quite crushed.
Excuse me. Perhaps we can speak later. Excuse me, miss, can I have a word?
Yes, my name's Mariah. What can I do for you?
Do you know of a woman named Izara?
Used to see her around, but that was a while ago. Last time I saw her, she was headed toward the cartographers. Never saw her again. And that was 3 months ago, if it were a day.
Any idea how I can get into the palace?
Rickton doesn't take to uninvited guests, and there's no way to sneak in that I've heard of.
What do you know about this Restless League group?
They scare me, frankly. They've been around since since the days of facade, and no one seems to know much about them. They seem to remain as quiet as possible, not like your usual pirates. There's something else to them.
And what does life hold for you in Stross Мкай?
Not as much as it used to. Spend my days landscaping. Before the Civil War, there were more of us. The town square and the park was so beautiful. But I do what I can.
I'm surprised Rickton even allows such a practice to continue.
City beautification may not be one of Lord Rickton's concerns, but he still needs to put on the right air. Should his Emperor, Tiber Septim, ever check up on him? All leaders like their gardens full and the smell of success in the air.
Wars have never been good to a city.
Especially not this one. First, Ator and the Crowns defeat the forebears, then the Empire comes rolling in. It's too much for these walls to handle.
I can only assume you are a crown.
That I am, though not as passionate as many others. I'm glad the war's over, really. Life goes on, and times change. I'll try to keep our sweet city as fair as she can be.
You sound as though you bear no grudge to the forebears or the Empire for that matter.
The forebears claim to be the earliest descendants from Hammerfell, while the Crowns trace their lineage to the first rulers. It's been that way for generations, and Tiber Septim tries, where many have failed, to unite the world of Tamriel.
The cartographers. I wonder what she would want there.
Hopefully she was just seeing Michael, the mapmaker, and not the boys in the smuggler's den below.
Where's the park?
Over by the waterfall. I'm ashamed you didn't notice. I have to spend more time on it. People really do enjoy it, especially that arcade boy, Kithro.
What were you saying about Kithro?
He's one of the temple members. Loved the park. Would stare at the waterfall and write in his journal. Passionate crowd. That one. But now that you mention it, I haven't seen him in months.
What do you know about the smuggler's den?
Below the cartographers. I've seen all sorts coming in and out of there. Even so-called league members from time to time. I hope Zara didn't end up there.
Thanks, Mariah.
Hello there.
Hi, Cyrus. And you are?
Lockheed. You're a no here, aren't you?
You know anything about a woman named Zara?
Zara. Name sounds familiar, but I can't say that I do.
What do you know about the Restless League?
Nothing. Who said that I did?
And what does Stross Мкай hold for you?
I'm what everyone likes to refer to as Mr. Fix-It. I'm cursed by it, actually. Oh, and by the way, if you see a man named Triffic, tell him I'll get to his boat when I have time.
If I see the fellow, I'll tell him.
And as for what keeps me in Stross Мкай with the Empire and Richten and all, well, I've lived here a long time, got friends and roots here. And Stross Мкай has deep roots, ancient history. And there's the real mystery.
What's wrong with Trithic's boat?
Not sure, really. I think he's had some vandals at night.
The real mystery? I've heard too many already.
The ruins, in the mountains. Dwarves, sailor, long dead, an ancient technological treasure trove. Empire's searching the world for such knowledge. They may have found it here.
What does the Empire hope to find there?
Power! Before you know it, we'll have steam-driven carriages and flying machines. Whole Empire's interested in them dwarves for some reason. Sure. Prince of Tor, Arcade, bless his soul, might have said they were dangerous and we should leave dead civilizations be, but hell, man, there's progress to be made.
Flying machines, are you okay?
You just wait. Those dwarves made up for their lack of magic another way. Magic is the crutch of the world. Why build a better bridge when a mage can teleport you to the other side? Things have been the same for thousands of years, and it's gonna end soon.
Steam-driven carriages, huh?
That's right. Dwarves knew how to use the steam. You may laugh, but it's a powerful force, and Richten's got his boys looking at it right now. Empire may have what they need to conquer all of Tamriel sooner than you think.
I know you've been gambling at the Smuggler's Den, Lakeen, and I need to get in there.
Damn! Where'd you hear that? Look, that's not something I'm proud of, so keep your voice down. Let's move this conversation elsewhere.
Gambling away your wife's silver locket, not good. Tell me what I want to know. What do you know about Azara, the League, and that den?
Calm down, please. I know nothing. I've only been there to gamble a few times. I've heard the League goes there, but I ain't seen him or this Azara woman, I swear. And if my wife finds out about the gambling, I'll be dead.
Then just give me the password and I'll take it from there.
Sure, but you gotta help me first, Cyrus. Please, get my silver locket back from that Rolo cheater, and I'll give you the password, I swear. Please!
Rolo?
Smelly guy, cheats at cards. He won that locket through trickery, the foul dust belly.
We'll talk later. Name's Cyrus. You okay?
No, I'm Crandall.
You seen a woman named Azara around?
Sure I have. Not that I remember names, though. Oh, but they remember mine. Them broads love Crandall. Have my way with them all, you know.
What do you know about the group called the Restless League?
Punks. Killed them all once I did. Bunch of Red Guard pansies. They want me to join them, but I got too much thinking to do. Heavy load. I say, Richten's got it out for him.
You watch out.
So Stross Мкai's one big party for you, eh?
You gotta drink to keep sane in this place. Them sissies around here think they can make the best of it. They make nothing. Nothing. Richton's got 'em all scared.
You've certainly spent a lot of time at the local tavern.
Richton's got that damn lizard Drekius charging 3 gold pieces for lousy veal and wood wine. He freaks me out. Picking flies off the bar with his tongue. I can't relax with that going on.
Rickton doesn't have you scared?
No, sirree. I kick this fat butt. Not throw me in his catacombs.
You're scared of the catacombs, eh?
Didn't say that. Did not say that. Rickton throws the crowns in jail and pirates into the catacombs. I ain't neither. Doubt his cronies could take me anyway.
Just like a drunk to blame the bartender for his troubles.
Ha! Who the heck do you blame for yours, anyway, tough guy? I know Drekius' story. Just no one else does. Damned Argonians. Them dark elves got it right. Cage 'em up and let 'em haul ash.
Don't like Argonians either. Who do you like, Crendel?
Fine then, fine. Hang around that scaly bastard and catch the flu.
There hasn't been a case of that in 200 years.
All I'm saying, those of us who play our cards right could open a right good belt shop. Yeah.
Liquor tax?
That's right. It's a real shock that sailors don't hang around anymore. Who's in charge of that one?
I've had enough.
Good.